All right, we are here again. It is our second trip this year, 2020. I'm here with my good buddy Darrell. We are out here January 18th, going to hit the trails. Darrell, who was a big time motocrosser in the day, is getting back into trails out here. Slow it down. We're not going to ride with these other riders we want to enjoy our ride, get on these single tracks. Man, I'm tired of getting hurt out there. Darrell is riding on this KTM 150, the KTM 150 2020. And it's a sweet ride here now. Riding Darrell's KTM 250 versus my Honda CRF 250L.
The suspension seem a little stiff for you, or is it?
No, it feels good. In comparing to the Honda CRF 250L that I own and ride, they are both 4 strokes. That means the engine work is going to be more expensive, all right, than the 2 strokes. However, I do like the 4 strokes because of the gearing makes it more linear, whereas the 2 strokes are just the opposite. The KTM that I am riding, and really all of KTMs are made for racing, and the Honda the CRF 250L that I have is made for riding on a milder note. The KTM 250 XCF is built for racing through the single tracks at Barnwell. The suspension was rebuilt really by Brian Story. He owns Adventure Moto in McKinney, Texas, the only WP suspension factory services franchise in North Texas, as well as being the Race Tech suspension dealer for North Texas. Darrell, who owns this particular bike, he owns this bike, and Darrell has installed the Mega Bomb header, which gives the 4 strokes a meteor sound, and according to Darrell, it increased its power by 30%. Made a big difference, he said. Well, I don't know what it was like before, so it does feel good. The bike weighs around 237 pounds. The bike is ready for TCCRA style racing and will handle any type of enduro tracks here at Barnwell. The bike is at the top of the scale for this style riding, for racing, all right? At certain times, riding through the single tracks, I felt the same constraints as I do when I'm riding my CRF 250L. The KTM has more power going up steep, rocky hill climbs due to its gearing, and the suspension is really nice. It's designed to handle the rockiness. Both of those are, you can upgrade. You can make that dual sport bike, that 250L, much better, on suspension. Anyway, I'm going to talk to Brian about that and see what he thinks. The Honda CRF 250L is built for city street riding conditions and off-road riding, with mostly smooth surfaces. The bike weighs from the factory 322 pounds. I've taken all the lights off, so I really don't know how much that weighs, but there's more weight that can come off of it if I want it, if I need it. But what I want it for, I don't need to do all that. I mean, if I'm gonna do all that, I mean, I'd go with this KTM style bike. Back to the 250L. It's too light for interstate highway riding. It maxes out at 75 miles per hour. It is incapable of 85, 95, 100 miles per hour, like 90% of the drivers do on the interstate. But that's not what I wanted it for. I wanted it for city street, blacktop road riding conditions at around anywhere from 35 to 65 miles per hour, which is great. That's what I wanted it for. And my off-road riding purposes were to ride on the pasture that I have. For my trips to Barnwell, a stronger suspension and a larger rear sprocket will help for some of the trails and hills. But for the majority of the trails and the hills out at Barnwell, the factory equipped CRF 250L is just fine. I did change the sprockets though, and I really liked the results from the change. And for the few trails that I had mentioned above, I could tell it made a big difference. And those are really inexpensive modifications. I went with a 13 tooth on the front and a 42 tooth on the rear. I was considering the 45 tooth on the rear, but no one that I took it to, no one could tell me, hey, this is what you want to do on this bike. Or they couldn't tell me the benefits or the disadvantages of it, because everyone that I know, their experiences with the motocross style bike, it's like they just don't know. Anyway, I'm considering changing the rear sprocket to the 45 tooth. The reasons that I didn't go with the 45 tooth to begin with was no one really could tell me which way to go for sure. Like I said, the people that I have available to do this type of work and for me to get and consult with, just didn't know.
Trying to think, normally I take the road around. I just turn, I don't know what the hell made me turn up there. Can we go back to the road and go around?
It says do not enter.
Oh, this is exit only.
This is all this?
No, this road, this is a trail.
Oh.
Trail.
Have we ridden this before?
It's tough.
I bet.
Marked yellow, but you got Scott and them marking them, so.
Huh. It doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't.
So you come out this way.
Oh. That's probably why.
Yep.
It says do not enter.
Well, go this way then. So they cross. This goes back up to the road.
This does? Goes back to where we came from?
It loops back into that road. That's what Scott was saying, make everything loop into itself.
How far, when this comes out, is it by the pavilion or where?
Well, when we turned on it, it comes out right back over about there.
Oh. Okay.
Trail. Where's the truck? How do you get back to the truck from here? His brakes are blocking.
Oh,
We go
back to the truck.
Yes, sir. Go right up. Follow this out to the road, and then just go right all the way out.
Up
to the road and then take a right.
Right up there, probably about 200 yards is the main Jeep trail.
Yeah.
And you'll see where the Jeeps are going out. Just follow it. Just keep going to the right.
What did he say was wrong with his bike?
Huh?
What did he say was wrong with his bike?
His?
He said something about his bike.
Oh, I don't know if they're test driving them.
Oh.
The thing about buying some new church clothes and they're test driving those. That number 42 is a factory sponsored bike.
Hmm.
So when you have factory sponsorship, if you got potential customers going to buy 4 or 5 bikes, you take them out and let them ride your stuff.
Hmm. Sweet. Let's ride a little bit further down.
We'll take this down and try to loop back into the big trail.
Okay.
And then we'll stop.
I did change the sprockets though, and I really liked the results from the change. And for the few trails that I had mentioned above, I could tell it made a big difference. And those are really inexpensive modifications. I went with the 13 tooth on the front and the 42 tooth on the rear. I was considering the 45 tooth on the rear, but no one that I took it to, no one could tell me, hey, this is what you want to do on this bike, or they couldn't tell me the benefits or the disadvantages of it, because everyone that I know, their experience is with the motocross style bike. It's like they just don't know. Anyway, I'm considering changing the rear sprocket to the 45 tooth. The reasons that I didn't go with the 45 tooth to begin with was no one really could tell me which way to go for sure. Like I said, the people that I have available to do this type of work and for me to get and consult with, just didn't know. The suspension, well, let me back up here, which is completely different. Okay. So the people that the people that I go to for advice, their knowledge is for the motocross style bikes, dirt bikes, straight dirt bikes, and that's a completely different bike. So the next thing is a stronger suspension. I'm going to look into that. Like I said, I'm going to call Brian next week and see what he says about it. I think I finally found someone that might steer me in the right direction. Anyway, the suspension upgrades are available for this bike. How strong, how much, I don't know yet. But I am just not sure how far to go on this. I just don't know what my options are yet. But I'm planning on talking to him about it and seeing what he says. I bought the bike because it was cheap, and at the same time serving what I wanted to be able to do. The CRF 250L is too heavy for speed racing through these single tracks. I'm not trying for that. That's not what I wanted it to do. I do like riding the single tracks, just not at race speeds like most of my riding buddies do. That's what they want to go at it and hit it hard. If that's what you're wanting to do, then this CRF 250L is not for you. Stay clear from it. You will be disappointed. You will not like it. If you want a cheap bike, one that can do most all trails, enjoy riding and not worry about how long it takes to complete riding a trail or complete a track, or then you will be very happy with this type of bike. The dirt bike riders that I've been riding with are all riding TCC RA style bikes and race through these single tracks. The Honda CRF 250L is great on smooth surfaces, going up normal hills and riding on tracks of that nature. It's a great bike. The bike, straight from the factory, did everything I took it on at Barnwell. Barnwell's rocky tracks, rocky hills, rocky climbs, and a few of the single tracks I've noticed that a stronger suspension will enhance and improve my riding skills if I stay riding on those rougher trails, okay? And I will enjoy those tougher trails more. The CRF 250L is on the low end of this type of riding as far as racing through those single tracks. You don't want that. That's the low end. You don't want to do that. All right. But if you are wanting it for what I'm doing it for, it's a great, cheap, inexpensive bike. I did not get this bike to race it. Most everyone I'm riding with are racing the Barnwell single tracks, and I can't keep up with them because the bike it's not for that. The CRF 250L is not for racing. I did not buy it to race around the tracks at break-making speed. I want to enjoy the ride, not come home hurt or so exhausted that I can't do anything the next day. I want to ride comfortably on the off-road trails. But when you want to ride and you don't want to ride alone like me, you know, I rode with those guys and I did all I could to push my CRF through as fast as I could, trying to keep up with them. All right. You know, just feeling guilty because, you know, I'm way behind. They're up there waiting on me. In the process of that, I kept getting hurt. I kept getting hurt quite a bit, though. And now I don't want to do that anymore. You know, the dirt bike riders that you know I've been riding with are all riding the TCCRA style bikes, and they're fast. I can't keep up with them, nor do I want to. And you know, I want to enjoy it. You know, I don't want to go out there and have this and just work out so much that I can't enjoy it. Well, maybe that'll help you. Maybe, I mean, you know, if you want to get into the riding and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, this dual sport bike will do it. I'm happy with it. Darrell let me ride that KTM 250. It is a nice bike, okay, but it is on the top end, and I don't need all that. That type of bike is expensive, and I don't need all that. And in between, somewhere in the middle, I just don't know if I'd be happy with being in the middle. I'd rather be on the low end like that and maybe make a little adjustments with it on the gearing, the sprockets. You know, if you change out the sprockets, it gives you a little different gearing, and, you know, do something with the suspension, and that's it. Anyway, I hope you would consider what I have included here, and thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.